Okay, so we're going to head over to the Colosseum in Rome, which is where the gladiators fought. It's where many Roman people spent a lot of their time since it was very cheap or free to attend these gladiator matches. For them, it was entertainment. Many different types of things happened in the Colosseum. There were often exotic animals brought in, so lions and other things were brought from various parts of the Roman Empire and beyond. Also, they would at times fill the entire floor of the Colosseum with water and have um, kind of like battles on boats in which people would be shooting at one another with arrows or throwing javelins. I'm not exactly sure what weapons they used. There were all sorts of things. When they brought in water, they also used water animals such as alligators, crocodiles that were brought in from Egypt. So it was a very intriguing thing. If you imagine your normal life being very boring, there is no TV, there's nothing that connects you to the outside world. In many ways, it's like being able to see animals that you've never seen before. Just like we go to the zoo, this was the only opportunity for them to experience some of these animals. And for many people, it didn't occur to them that um, there was problems with people fighting these things. They saw them as criminals. They saw them as deserving it. Some people chose to be gladiators. Most people were slaves. If you were a slave and chose to be a gladiator, you could earn your freedom that way at times. Or if you were very, very poor, you could choose to be a gladiator. If you, even some later on, some middle class people chose to be gladiators and they would go to a special gladiator school where they would learn the technique necessary to try to survive in this environment. If you were successful as a gladiator, you became very famous. You became well known, and your status could actually raise. The same is actually true for chariot racers as well, who rode in chariots and had four horses pulling them around a track in a race. These people were celebrated as celebrities if they did well. That being said, it was very likely that it was only a matter of time before you died. So this is the Colosseum as it is today. If you kind of look around here, you can see that it's falling down because it is very old. But it was not always this way. Originally, it would have had all. Let me see if I can get back here. Yeah, originally all the sides of the Colosseum would have been that same height as the top there, kind of this section right here. It's just that over time it has begun to fall apart. These arches are used again for structural support. I'm not sure exactly how many people the Colosseum could hold. Probably a lot. I would say up towards 100,000 people. When you attended gladiator matches at the Colosseum, women were on one side and men were on the other side. This is different than the chariot races. If you went to a chariot race, which was held at a different venue, that could hold 250,000 people, which is a ton of people. And in that section, men and women could sit together. So actually going to the chariot races was a great place to meet a husband or wife. So let's go inside the Colosseum and look a little bit more about what this may have looked like. So this is from standing. Kind of, if you look across, it'd be like standing in this area right here. If you look down, these are the seats. They have some growth on them over time, just moss and that sort of thing at times. But generally speaking, this would have all been seating. Some of it would have been covered, which would have been nicer seating. Some of it would have been uncovered for more of the peasants. And the events would have happened down here. Now, originally there would have been a flooring. It would have been not quite as nice as this. This has been built to explain. But underneath here is where they kept the animals. So each animal had a pen it was kept in, just like the zoos today, and they would be brought up for their event. This is actually down a little bit further into the Colosseum. Originally, we were standing right up here, and now we are a little bit lower, and you can see down inside a little better into what these pens would have looked like for the animals and also for the prisoners. They also would have had a holding area down here until it was time for their matchup. The crowds loved it when someone was mauled or even killed. That led